I'm a theater girly at heart, so I love a good show tune and I love a big Disney ending. And truly, I can't wait for fans to see Moana 2 because that is what we're giving.
I think the bar is set high and the expectation is set high. Like, you got to come with it. You can't suck, as my grandmother used to say.
This is a call from the ancestors to sail to new skies and reconnect our people across the entire ocean. Maui?
Ooh, taking on an animated musical is arguably my favorite challenge to date.
I've been fortunate over the path of my career to have taken roles in many different genres. When it's an animated film, it requires some real diligence. You're generally locked in a booth. You have to bring a different kind of vibe and energy and life to your voice, because the voice is the only thing that's going to carry you through these scenes and through the film.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, I'm improvising all the time in the recording booth. Whether or not it makes it into the final cut is beyond me. I'm turning 24 this year. I was 14 when I was cast originally. I get to also add some maturity into the music and some maturity through my voice, and I get a little pop star moment with some of the riffs.
Is there a line that I could say as Maui in real life, live action, compared to Maui, animated Maui? The cool thing is I can answer that because we're actually shooting live action Moana at the same time now as we just wrapped Moana 2 animated. With an animated film, there's a little elevated, almost like a histrionic energy to Maui. Everything has, as I like to say, a little bit more mustard on it. Chee-hoo! Now that's live action. Here comes animated. Chee-hoo! See the difference? What's my party trick?
I mean, besides belting out a show tune like that and sounding damn good, I'm also incredibly limber. I can do that. That sounded worse than it was.
It all depends on what kind of party it is. If it's a party for little kids, I could transform into Maui. They all start to gather around. I know it's a lot, the hair, the bod. When you're staring at a demigod, I make my pecs bounce and the kids go crazy. It's awesome. It was an adult party. Well, with tequila, I do this thing where I can pick up a grape. Not with my hands, not my feet, not in my mouth. Right now, my publicist is like, please, God, don't say any more. Don't, please.
I don't know, what else am I good at? Oh God, what else am I good at? Great, I'll stay with that one for the rest of the night.
We all have a legacy that we're gonna leave behind. I think when we recognize that and embrace it, I think it begins to change our actions a little bit. Like, we think a little bit more about the stuff that we do. What Moana has done has provided an opportunity for me as a man of color, half black, half Samoan, to showcase our culture and bring our culture around the world.
It feels so special, truly. I mean, one, that we get to further amplify wayfinding and navigation. That is something that Pacific Islanders have truly dominated for generations, and navigating by the stars. And something that I have to say is the Polynesian Voyaging Society, the Hokulea, is a canoe that is going on their Moana Nui Akea right now. They are circumnavigating the globe using only Indigenous instruments to guide their way. I also am very lucky that I redo these films in Olelo Hawaii, the Hawaiian language. That is a dying language. I no longer live in Hawaii, but I feel my culture in my bones, and I'm really grateful for it. I have never lost sight of who I am and the fact that when all this is said and done, I'm going home. You know what I mean?
There's a two-parter here, the idea of mana and what mana is, and then the idea of protecting that mana. So mana is ever present. Mana in Polynesian language is our spirit, it's our power. You can feel it in here. It's the kind of stuff that can make the hair on your skin stand up. It's the kind of stuff where you go, I don't know what that was, I just experienced it, but that was amazing. I heard a quote a long time ago, I'll never forget it. It is, you always want to protect the thing that allows you to do what you do. And that thing is our mana. And by protecting it, it means putting yourself in a position to make sure that you're doing the stuff that is aligned with your values, that you have people around you who are aligned with your values too, who are not envious of you, not going to try and bring you down, and protecting it.
I don't know what the definition of imposter syndrome is. I know who I am. I know that I'm great. I just get scared sometimes. And I think that that's totally fine. You can call it imposter syndrome. You can call it nerves. You can call it anxiousness. I made my West End debut playing Eva Perón in Evita, and I felt like a runaway bride. I wanted to get out of that theater. It was the most difficult thing I've ever done. And then by the time I, finished my 4th show, I thought, if I could just have one more. You don't always have to push through it. Sometimes that gut feeling is that I'm not quite ready. I'm going to listen to my tummy and I'm going to take a deep breath and I'm going to get it on the next run. And other times, especially when I have such an amazing team behind me that I've worked with since I was 14, sometimes they tell you, no, I know you got this. And sometimes other people can see what you cannot. So trusting the people around you, making sure that you have a good team, and then trusting yourself. It's a very fine balance.
I'm a proud girl dad, 3 daughters, all estrogen. I'm the only testosterone in the house, me and the dog. Moana has meant so much to them. This idea of a young girl who wants more out of life, told the reef, that's it, don't look beyond it, don't go beyond it, but yet there is more. And girls have a tendency to begin to shrink a little bit. And we don't want that. We want them to walk in a room. I just had this conversation last night when I was putting my daughter to bed. I don't want you to be small when you go in these rooms. Be respectful, be kind, but you don't never have to be small. So I love the conceit of that with Moana.
I feel really grateful to be coming back to this character who I know and love. I think that she truly embodies and personifies strength and resilience and courage and grabbing a demigod by the ear and saying, you had better do better.
I always feel like my generation right now, we've things up. So generation after us and our younger generation, they're going to have the answers to the questions that we're creating now, to the questions and challenges that we have right now. In maybe a very, very small way, Moana can help that.
Parents realizing who I am and then telling their poor child to just stand next to me and take a picture with her. And they're like, you don't look like Moana. I go, that's fair, child. That's so fair. Smile anyway. Smile for the camera.